Effective Communication by Lauren Williams. What does it mean to effectively communicate? This is what I will be discussing in today's presentation. Communication happens between humans on an everyday basis. Effective communication is spoken highly of in professional and educational settings. This is because in these settings, communicating is paramount to the success of business or higher learning. To first understand these nuances of the different forms of communication, we must first break down what communication is to begin with. Communication is the imparting or exchanging of information or news. It is the talking, it is the conversations that happen between humans. To understand how to effectively communicate, you have to understand how not to effectively communicate to avoid these mistakes. Comparing and contrasting good and bad communication is an excellent way to further your skills in effective communication. Different forms of communication have different signifiers. Starting with bad communication. Subsignifiers of this would be one-way communication, essentially talking at your recipient, not receiving. Another way would be only speaking in negatives. Negatives essentially meaning you're saying the word no a lot. The disregardment of feelings. You are talking to another human. You want to make sure that they are felt, listened, and understood. Tone of voice also plays a role for the same reasons. You want to make sure that you have a level, caring tone of voice in order to put your recipient at ease. Good communication. Some signifiers of this would be active listening. You want to make sure that your recipient knows that you held their attention. Nonverbal communication, such as maintaining eye contact and having a relaxed body posture. Asking clarifying questions so there are no misunderstandings. This is a great way to make sure you are effectively communicating. And last, have empathy for your recipient. They are another human just like yourself, and again, you just want to make sure that everyone is felt listened to and validated. Things to watch out for. If you want to be an effective communicator, these are some warnings, things you should stay away from and things to keep your eye on. Avoid making preconceived or rashly made judgments, either about the situation, the people you're talking to, content. Any of this can impair judgment and therefore make communications break down. Having a lack of attention to the person you're communicating with. The person you are communicating with has taken time out of their day to have a conversation with you. Try to think about how you would feel if they did not hold attention to your conversation while you spoke. Avoid technical language. Not in every situation will your recipients know everything that you are talking about. Avoid acronyms and higher vocabulary that is irrelevant to the conversation. Avoid giving solutions or unwanted advice. Nobody wants to listen to unsolicited opinions. Avoid disregarding feedback or advice from peers. You want to make sure that as you give advice, you are taking advice as well. These are all important for effective communication. Essentially, to be an effective communicator means to be concrete, stand firm in your word, and understand your subject matter. It means to be concise, cutting down the extra verbose and just getting to the facts, being coherent, making sure that you are enunciating and having fluid conversations, being consistent, making sure you're following through on your words and your actions, and being courteous. Again, you are having conversations with humans. If we continue to understand each other, our effective communication is tripled. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation on effective communication, and I hope that some of these tips have helped you to be a more effective communicator. Thank you.